Hi, my name is Cecilia and I'm with the Summit Christian Development Group, and I have a heart for those who find themselves single and alone, wishing for a mate. There's some other areas that we touch upon, but I'd like to really touch upon that area today. And I'd like to use a case study, someone who the predator was met in the workplace. They were at a corporate training. And the predator, one thing I'd like to say with regard to this poem, if you happen to catch a sideways glance, it wasn't just by happenstance. What this means is when you are the prey of a human predator and the predator approaches you, the predator has seen you long before you saw him. Now, this particular video pertains to male predators. I will address different types of female predators at a later date, but for our purposes today, we're particularly looking at the male predator. Now, these two met at a corporate training in the workplace. Other coworkers are around. He catches his victim alone and invites the victim out to dinner. And what he's doing is he's setting the stage. This particular predator has a lot of personality issues. If we were to go through the DSM, the Diagnostic and Statisticians Manual for the American Psychological Association, we see that this individual actually has what we call comorbidity. There's a lot of things going on with him. And some of his issues, particularly his alcohol dependence, causes him to jump from employer to employer. And because he jumps from employer to employer, what that means is he spends a lot of time out of work. And so he's always setting himself up for this new victim because he's going to attempt to leech off of said victim. So let's call this particular predator Robert. Now, Robert was a chef, and Robert is someone who actually seemed like he had an honorable job as, this chef, and seemed like he had a steady work history. But the problem was, again, he jumped around from job to job. So he approaches his prey. He gets the initial date. And then what that means is he's now setting the victim up because he's looking to move in with the victim. So Robert had what we call, he prey on, what he looked for in his prey were codependent personalities, or people who exhibited those characteristics and traits. So he preyed on this codependent personality, or someone he thought exhibited the traits. And that would be someone who will compromise their own values and integrity for him. Someone willing to give up their truth in order to gain his approval. Because what he'd do is try to break down the individual with regard to, he would say things and try to break down the self-esteem. So like, for instance, he might insult the individual with regard to their occupation. He might insult on maybe a habit the person had, but the goal was to break the person so that they were solely dependent upon him, allowing him to behave the way he wanted to. And again, he's operating out of psychopathology.